Distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to testify before you today on behalf of the Armenian National Committee of America. The U.S.-Armenia relationship has a very long and proud history, actually dating back to the 1600s when Armenian silk farmers were invited to the Jamestown settlement. The U.S.-Armenia relationship continues to grow. I would like to touch on 5 priorities which will promote U.S. interests in the region, which are continued aid to Nagorno Karabakh, conditioning military aid to Azerbaijan to its acceptance of the OSCE calls to pull back their snipers, and a commitment to a purely peaceful resolution of the conflict, aid to Armenia, the need to address the difficulties in getting assistance to Armenians, Assyrians, and other at-risk minorities in Syria, and aid to the Javakhk region of Georgia. We are asking for at least $5 million in humanitarian and development assistance to Nagorno Karabakh. For more than a decade and a half, the U.S. government has been providing assistance to Nagorno Karabakh, which has a long history of bipartisan support. Many credit the Karabakh Armenians with helping bring down the Soviet Union. It was their peaceful protests that inspired others in the Soviet Union to fight for their self-determination and democracy. Ironically, they continue to be denied the freedom they helped millions of people gain. Karabakh suffers one of the highest per capita landmine accidents in the world. Last year, there were several accidents. Tragically, 2 people were killed. We urge the subcommittee to expand this vital assistance, which is saving lives, especially considering Karabakh's continued gains in democracy. Freedom House has consistently rated Karabakh higher than Azerbaijan and on par with Georgia and Armenia on democracy indicators. The most recent presidential elections in Karabakh in July 2012 were favorably received by more than 80 international observers from 24 countries, including the United States. The former Attorney General of Rhode Island was one of those international observers. Second, we urge the subcommittee to condition military aid to Azerbaijan. It does not serve our national interests nor advance our values to provide aid to a military whose leadership frequently threatens to renew aggression. Last year was the deadliest since the ceasefire over 20 years ago. Over 60 people were killed. This year, Azerbaijan's attacks became too egregious and deadly to ignore. In an unusual rebuke, the OSCE Minsk Group issued a statement this January, reminding Azerbaijan to observe its commitments to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. Deadly violations subsided, but were renewed last week. Azerbaijan will respond to international pressure, but it has to be sustained, and the first step would be to suspend military aid until it agrees to the OSCE call to pull back its snipers. Armenia and Karabakh have agreed to this proposal. Azerbaijan continues to oppose it. Azerbaijan's regional aggression is closely tied to its brutal crackdown on dissent. It has raided and shut down Radio Free Europe's offices, deliberately frustrating the purposes of this very subcommittee. It has unjustly imprisoned several civil society leaders. By some accounts, there are 90 political prisoners in Azerbaijan. Our next priority is for at least $40 million in assistance to Armenia. Armenia is a crucial ally in a strategic region of the world, has extended robust support for US-led peacekeeping deployments in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Kosovo, and is cooperating with the US on a broad range of regional and security issues. In 2011, as countries were pulling out of Afghanistan, Armenia actually tripled its troop deployment there. It continues to extend its hand to the West. Last year, Armenia scrapped its visa requirements for all American citizens. Furthermore, it is extending its hand to the European Union. The French ambassador in Yerevan just this week spoke of, quote, quite positive atmosphere on that sphere. Intel, Microsoft, IBM, National Instruments, and Synopsys are all investing in Armenia because they see a promise there. At the same time, the people of landlocked Armenia continue to face the devastating impact of Turkey and Azerbaijan's over 20-year economic blockades. Our assistance has played a vital role in helping alleviate these blockades. It is for this reason we ask the subcommittee to appropriate no less than $40 million for economic aid. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I apologize for people that, sorry.